All right, got home from a ride, 10 miles this morning, and I have some parts. Chainstay guard, stem, and some orange bolts just to class it up a little. Slime tubes, I'm tired of changing flats. Some pedals that match the chain ring. And again, it's just some orange bolts for my bottle rack. So before we move forward, this is the greatest thing I could have put on this bike. An oval chain ring, not because it's oval, but because the tooth profile is every other is wide to fit that chain tight. And man, does that make a big difference. This thing, the first 2 nights I rode it without that, the chain had popped off a ton of times. Since I put that on, I haven't lost the chain one time. I will say, because we have this micro shift derailleur is pretty slack, the chain does beat the heck out of the frame. But moving forward, we're gonna see what we can do about it. I would normally put music over this section of the time lapse, but my Epidemic Sound subscription has been giving me issues with giving me copyright claims on YouTube videos. So unfortunately, no music on this, just my voice. Obviously changing the steering stem out here now, putting orange bolts in that stem just to make it look a little better. Thinking the orange and blue and gray looks pretty sharp. Pulling those handlebars back to my body kind of gave me a more moto feel, put that wheel out in front of me. Time will tell. We'll see how it goes. I really need to invest in a bike stand. This working on the ground thing's for the birds. That bike's constantly trying to back away from me. All right, shortened up the stem to get it back so I don't feel like I'm stretching so far to get to the bars. We'll see how it goes. It's only a 35 millimeter stem, so it might be too short, but we'll find out. As far as pedals go, I didn't want clip-ins. I just wanted platforms, so I went with a cheap aluminum pedal off Amazon. They're orange to match the chain ring, and here we are bolting them up, and they work and feel great. All right, now we have much better pedals than those plastic GT pedals. Still very cheap on Amazon. They match the chain ring. Got the shorter stem on there. We'll see how that goes. Still a couple little bling things to put on there, some orange bolts and those slime tubes so I can quit changing tires, and this chainstay guard. Hard to tell from the angle, but this is just putting that chainstay protector on. Wipe the chainstay down with alcohol first. Absolute necessity with that stock derailleur. All right, so quick post trail ride update. Damn, I'm already about 35 miles on these pedals, and they are so much better than the stockers. I'm not even gonna try to pronounce the brand name. Amazon, 30 bucks. I hit a couple rocks, pretty rough. All it did was sharpen those studs. I'm sure they're a little heavier than the plastic ones, but so much better for keeping my feet on. The other thing, again, it needs to be said, these chain rings that have offset tooth sizes that grip that wide chain link, so much better. Hangs onto the chain a lot better. The chainstay guard, again, must have for this GT Aggressor. That chain was getting beat to death. They do put a little piece of plastic, like vinyl protector there, stock, but something rubber, that again, Amazon, 8 bucks, so worth it. I put the slime tire tubes in. I don't know, time will tell. The stock one that I still had on the front was bleeding air off. It wasn't at the valve. I think it was just junky rubber. So definitely worth the $13 for those tubes, plus peace of mind. I was able to do a little exploring trail run this weekend, and I didn't have to be concerned about a flat or as concerned. And this bike blew my mind this weekend. I jumped a couple things that I probably shouldn't have or thought that I shouldn't have on these stock rims, and they did amazing. They're not bent, everything's perfect, the bike handled well. The other big change for me that made a big difference was this stem. It has, the GT Aggressor Pro comes with that long stem, and maybe that's great for some, but it just felt like I was out over the front wheel. So I got the shortest stem I could find on Amazon. It was like $13. I bought the $10 orange bolt kit just to class it up a little bit, but it made all the difference in the world. Now it makes it feel like that front wheel's out in front of you. More of a moto feel to me, which that's my background in 2 wheels, is dirt bikes, not pedal bikes. So anything I can do to make it feel more like a dirt bike seems to be pretty good. I think that's why I have an issue with the seat height as well. It just feels weird to me, but we're getting there. Did a couple gnarly trails this weekend. That'll be in the next video. And yeah, the only real complaint that I have with the bike is that derailleur and only the tension. It functions perfectly, but the tension that it keeps on the chain is not sufficient, and that front fork. However, that front fork is a big step up from any, Walmart bikes, but I think it's just the spring and oil fork, just the nature of the beast. Definitely gonna go to an air fork. Unfortunately, with that straight 1.8" steerer, your options are a lot slimmer. My neighbor actually gave me a RockShox air fork, but it had a tapered steering tube, and it was for the bigger steer tube. So not gonna work, but that's in the near future, I feel, is a better fork. But in the meantime, very trail capable bike for $300.